So, you're thinking of moving from Florida to the South Carolina Lowcountry, and you're wondering, what's life like here in the South Carolina Lowcountry, and why are people leaving Florida to come to the South Carolina Lowcountry? Well, I myself left Florida to come here to the South Carolina Lowcountry just about 10 years ago, and I'm going to tell you in today's video all the reasons why people are leaving Florida to come here. So don't go anywhere. Let's get started right now. Do you want to know everything there is to know about the South Carolina Lowcountry? Whether it's Bluffton, Beaufort, Hilton Head Island, or Jasper County, then subscribe below and tap that bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know everything about the South Carolina Lowcountry. My name is David Simcox, host of Lowcountry Lifestyles and a local realtor. I get calls and emails every day from people just like you and you and you looking to make their move here, and I absolutely love it. So whether you're making your move in 3 days, 3 months, or 3 years, give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text, or book a Zoom call, all in the description below so I can help you find your Lowcountry lifestyle. In today's video, we're going to be looking at why people are leaving Florida to come here to South Carolina, and in particular to the South Carolina Lowcountry. Now, I myself left South Florida about 10 years to relocate here to the South Carolina Lowcountry, and it has been a great move for me. Now, I'm going to tell you all the reasons in today's video why people are doing the same thing, and maybe you're thinking about that too, and this might help clarify some of your own decision-making process. So without further ado, let's look at my top 10 reasons why people are leaving Florida to come to the South Carolina Lowcountry, and what's life going to be like when you get here. All right, so today we're going to be talking about why people are moving from Florida to South Carolina, in particular to the South Carolina Lowcountry. And if you are thinking about moving from Florida to the South Carolina Lowcountry, what's life going to be like? And again, I don't want to pretend like I'm bashing Florida for any reason, because I lived in Florida for almost 15 years and I absolutely love Florida. There's so many amazing things I could say about Florida and the lifestyle there as well. But here lately, I am getting a lot of folks that are starting to come up from Florida. And normally people move here to the South Carolina Lowcountry from New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, California, even as far away as Switzerland. But a lot of times I wasn't seeing people coming up from the south to the north and going from Florida here. And I've started to see a lot more of that. So I was like, what gives? So I started doing a little bit of research and finding out why, and also, letting you know, if you do move from Florida here, what's life going to be like? So the first factor that I want to take into consideration is insurance. So I actually have a woman that's moving up from Florida to this area, and she's buying a house here, and she's also a real estate agent in Florida. So I asked her, I said, why, what's the big deal? Why are you getting out of there? And she said, it's really hard to operate as a real estate agent or even as a homeowner, because a lot of the insurance companies are starting to pull out of Florida. So I don't know if that's true. I haven't 100% confirmed that with any insurance companies, but that's coming from a realtor that was a pretty big producer down there. And she's deciding to come and kind of restart her career here because it's become so difficult to get insurance in Florida. So anyway, comment down below and let me know if that is in fact true. If you're from Florida and you're living down there, has that become a challenge to get insurance on your home? Number 2 reason for people coming here, or one of the reasons that I came here also, is I feel like here, especially in the South Carolina Lowcountry, there's more what I would call like full-time residents, people that are here raising their families, making a life, or if they're not, raising a family, they're here retiring. I always felt like Florida was a little bit more transient, like people are coming and going and staying for a year or two, or, I never felt like that sense of like hometown community that I feel here in this local area. I always felt like there was a lot of folks just moving about, coming and going, you know, from other parts of the country or even from other parts of the world. And it almost felt, I lived in South Florida, and it almost felt like a little mini New York City, which I loved it for that reason too. But for me personally, I'm raising kids and I wanted something that felt a little more stable and a little bit more like, you know, like that hometown USA feel. And I just felt like Florida, and especially South Florida for me, was just a little too fast paced and a little bit too transient for my taste. So I don't know. Comment down below, tell me if you necessarily agree or disagree with that. Number 3, I feel like living here in the South Carolina Lowcountry, you have the ability to travel to more destinations by car. So what I mean by that is I can jump in my car and I can drive south and I can go down to Florida, and my brother's down there, and I can run down and I can see, you know, within like 4 hours I'm in Daytona, within 6 hours I'm already in South Florida down by Boca Raton and Fort Lauderdale. And then if I drive north, I can head up and I can be in the mountains in 3 or 4 hours. I can be skiing. I can drive the other direction and head over to Alabama and go see more friends and family. So I can literally like go off in multiple different directions and see all kinds of different scenery and all kinds of various destinations, to where when I lived in Florida, I felt like I could either go north or I could go south. So for me, we could drive down to the Keys and we could go hang out, or we could drive north and you could go maybe to like Daytona or whatever. But really, because Florida is such a huge peninsula, really you've got north or south, that's your options. And there's not a lot of various destinations you can go off in multiple directions. So I think for going out and exploring and having day trips, I just feel like the South Carolina Lowcountry offers a little bit more variation. Number 4, I feel like South Carolina is more friendly. It's got the Southern hospitality. And you know, you may like that or you may not like that. I felt like South Florida, again, for me, and I don't know if it's this way in Northern Florida, maybe comment down below and let me know, but I feel like people are just a little more fast-paced, reserved, maybe a little more rude, you know, a little more blunt, a little more rash. I know a little more like road rage, traffic rage. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but you know, comment down below, tell me if you agree or disagree with that. But when you come here, everybody is so darn friendly. And that's one of the things, people that move here from other places, they quickly realize that it's a very warm, welcoming, friendly environment. People open the doors for each other. People are polite to each other. People talk to each other at the grocery stores. And I just, you know, I didn't quite get that same warmth in Florida. And I don't know if it was just me and the stage of life that I was in, but when I was in South Florida, I felt like I had, you know, some work friends, but I didn't have a real big set of friends outside of that. Here, I just feel like I've had a really, really easy time making friends throughout the community, and almost like everybody's friends with everybody, you know? It's a weird thing. I don't know how to describe it, but to me, with the Southern hospitality, I just feel like it's a little bit more friendly environment here. Number 5, I would say that the South Carolina Lowcountry is, in my opinion, safer than Florida, and for me, South Florida. I just did a video actually on the crime and safety ratings here in the South Carolina Lowcountry. You can check that out if you want to. But this area has a very, very low crime rating. And I think it's like, gosh, like 75% safer than the US national average in multiple different categories. And you know, South Florida, I loved it. It was a fast-paced lifestyle and a great place for me in my early 20s. But when I got a little bit older, and now I'm in my 40s and I've got kids, I just wanted that safety factor, you know? And down there, I just, you know, like going around Fort Lauderdale and Boca and all these areas, you just had more crime. I mean, there was more drug prevalence. You'd see things like prostitution on the streets. You'd see, you know, all kinds of craziness. And I just felt like there was more crime, even white collar crime down there. And I just feel like this is a little bit more of a wholesome, safe place. And part of that safety factor also comes down to the fact that many of our neighborhoods and communities are behind gates, right? So there are these planned gated communities. And so once you're, inside the gate of your neighborhood, there is that additional safety factor. So I don't know. Again, these are all just my opinions. So if you're from Florida, I'm not trying to offend you or say that, you don't have a beautiful place there, because I love Florida and I would maybe even go back there someday when I get a little bit older. I don't know. But, comment down below and tell me if you think that the South Carolina Lowcountry is safer than Florida in general. Just my opinion. Number 6, I think this one is true. Lower property taxes. So here at least in the Beaufort market, Beaufort County that is, the property taxes, if this is your primary home, the property taxes are going to be about 0.5% of the purchase price annually. So if you're in a $500,000 home, your property taxes are going to be roughly, give or take, about $2,500 per year. Now, if you're on the Jasper County side, they're going to be a little bit higher. They're going to be about 1% of the purchase price. So if you bought a $500,000 home, you're going to be spending about $5,000 a year in property taxes. Now, I know for sure people that are coming from New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, they've assured me that our property taxes here are much lower than what they're paying there. And I actually did own a home down in Fort Lauderdale, and I know that my property taxes are way less than what I was paying in Broward County down in Fort Lauderdale. So I don't know, let me know wherever you're at in Florida if your tax rate is lower or higher than that. But I think overall our property taxes are probably more favorable for a lot of people coming from Florida. Number 7, I would say more diversity in the landscape. So, I mean, you can look around behind me. Here I'm right on the banks of the May River filming this video today. But we've got, these beautiful marshes. We've got, pine forests. We've got the beach and the ocean. And if you actually go watch a video I made about, I rented a helicopter and went to Monkey Island. That does a really good job of showing the scenery and the natural diversity of the actual landscape itself. And Florida was beautiful. I mean, they do have some of the most beautiful beaches. They've got the white sand beach, they've got the clear water, but I feel like the landscape itself is just very flat and kind of plain. And yes, there are some, beautiful landscaping and palm trees and things like that, but the actual natural beauty, in my opinion, is better here in South Carolina. So again, not trying to start any fights with any of our Florida viewers here. So if you're in Florida and you think the landscape is prettier down there, just comment down below and tell me why that is. Number 8, closer drive to family up north. So again, a lot of our viewers on this channel and a lot of the people who move here to the South Carolina Lowcountry, whether it's Bluffton, Beaufort, Hilton Head Island, or Jasper County, a lot of them are coming from New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and for them, they have kids, grandkids, family, brothers, sisters that have stayed behind. And, to drive to South Florida from New York, that is a major hike, if you're driving. Flight-wise, not that big a deal, but if you want to be able to drive and commute and go back and see family, South Carolina is basically, it's like the halfway point. And so it is more convenient if you want to drive and go see family or go see friends back home. South Carolina is going to be a little bit more convenient on that point. Number 9, this one I really like, more seasonal change. So South Florida is beautiful weather, but it basically doesn't change that much. So it goes from hot in the summertime, really hot, to just mild the rest of the year, but it almost feels like another version of summer. And you don't really get much seasonal change. And I was there almost 15 years, and I almost feel like time didn't pass because I never really realized like another year's gone by, another year's gone by, another year's gone by, because you don't really have that changing of seasons. Here, you've got a summer for sure. It gets pretty darn hot here, but then you've got the most beautiful spring, you've got very mild winters, and then you've got this beautiful fall. But you definitely feel the changing of the temperatures and the changing of the seasons. And it's like, okay, now it's time to break out some coats and some cold weather gear. And, you know, there's different activities that people do in the wintertime that they don't do in the summertime. So for me personally, I just like that feeling of change. I like to feel the fall coming on, and then I like the crispness of winter. I like being able to break out my jacket and experience that and have bonfires and oyster roaster in the wintertime, and then knowing that the spring and the summer are coming. So it's just that diversity and that change and a little bit less of the same old, time in, time out that I felt in Florida. Again, no disrespect to Florida, and if you love the seasons and you love the weather in Florida, comment down below and let me know that you like Florida better, or if you like South Carolina better, let me know that and why. And then number 10 is, I think, probably one of the number one reasons. It's a different pace of life. So many people come here and I say, why did you move here? And they say, because of the lifestyle. And when I dig a little deeper, it's really the slower pace of life. And in a lot of those other areas, whether it's South Florida or New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, it's like life is just moving so fast. And they come here because they want a slower pace of life. And the Lowcountry is also known as the slow country. And, you know, I mean, like, I'm here on this fishing dock and there's just people like hanging out fishing back here, people out walking and just enjoying the morning. And it's just quiet and peaceful and slow. And for a lot of folks, they're moving here, you know, for retirement, or they're moving here because they want a different lifestyle for their children or their family, or maybe they just personally want a slower pace of life. So, you know, that's not appealing to everyone. Some people that want to live in a big city and they want the hustle and the bustle and the restaurants and the entertainment and the nightlife and the, you know, all the different pro sports teams and, you know, a million different things to do. This might not be the place for you, but if you want slow and quiet and peaceful and safe and, you know, like just friendly, then maybe this is the place for you. So anyway, that's my top 10 reasons why people are moving from Florida to South Carolina, and I hope you enjoyed that. All right, guys, thank you for staying till the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed learning why people are leaving Florida to come to South Carolina, and in particular, the South Carolina Lowcountry. And if I can help you find your Lowcountry lifestyle, go ahead and give me a call, send me an email, shoot me a text, or you can book a Zoom call, all in the description below. And if you want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest here in the South Carolina Lowcountry, don't forget to like, subscribe, tap that bell for notifications, and that way you'll be the first to know about everything going on right here. Again, my name is David Simcox, host of Lowcountry Lifestyles and a local realtor, and it's been an absolute pleasure spending time with you today. I hope to meet you in person at some point, or at least I'll see you on the next video.